Okay, we are back again. This time I'm going to show you how to do leg cross sections as opposed to at station cross sections. So again, I'm in tester mode from the main settings menu, the activity level. So any kind of dialogue or menus that come up on my screen will have a lot of options, and I'm using same version number 6.3.7-35 for Topodroid. Okay, so to do a cross section, first thing is we will open up our little cave here. Now, little shortcut is if you're trying to get to the drawing page that you were previously on, if you just tap and hold the drawing button up there, it immediately goes to the sketch, so you don't have to click it and then click Planner Profile. All right, so now we're back to our cute little cave, and I have decided that I want to draw a cross section not at station A1, but in between. So I'm going to draw it just inside the entrance right here, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to click on my drawing tool, and now when I have a choice of lines, the red is for walls, the white line is for detail, green line is for comments. Those will all get exported in SVG or PDF. But then I have this other line. It's a dash line. It's called a section line. So if I click on that, now if you watch really closely, I'm going to just draw, it doesn't even have to be that straight. I'm going to draw a line across the passage right here. And for a brief moment, you will see tick marks, and then it will open a dialog box. So I'm going to draw a line, and you saw the tick marks were pointing up. Now it says my line section is facing from station A2 to A1. Well, that's facing outside the cave, and I don't want to go that direction. And you notice I drew it from left to right. So I'm just going to cancel this right now, so I don't have anything here. I'm going to attempt to do this again, but this time I'm going to draw from right to left. And you should see momentarily tick marks pointing inside the cave. So if I do this, you saw the tick marks pointing inside. Now my line section is going from A1 to A2. That's what I want. All right, so then I can put a comment here. Remember, this isn't associated with one of the stations. It's just going to be in between the station. So I'm going to do a drawing. So same thing as before. It shows the center of my my cross section is right at the crosshairs, but this time it shows both stations, A1 and A2. Now, when I did this, I'll zoom in a little bit. Remember how I drew the line pretty close to station A1? It just wasn't right at station A1. So what it does is it gives me my cross section on this leg between A1 and A2. If I had drawn the cross section right in the middle between those two passages, my X would be right here. But since I drew my cross section very close to station A1, that's why it's so close here. But again, the center of my cross section is going to be at these crosshairs. Now, it's showing me the splays for station A1. Let's say that I was closer to station A2 and I actually wanted to see those splays. I can toggle right here. I've just turned all the splays off. I've turned the splays on for station A2. I've turned the splays on for both stations. And I've turned the splays off for station A2. So now I can toggle to see what splays I want shown to help me with my cross section. Again, I can turn the grid or the scale bar on or off, but I'm going to leave it on. So I have my splays for station A1. I was very close to station A1, but the passage is a little bit smaller than it was at the entrance. So I can do my drawing. So I go to walls. So I'm just going to roughly, let's say it was kind of square and about the same level, but it was a little bit smaller. And then I will put some detail in. Okay, so now when I go back, now you see on my plan, I have my orange box that goes to my section point, and then I have this tick mark here. So first thing I want to do is I want to see what my cross section look like. So if I hit the highlight button, I highlight my section point. Now when I go up to the sketch items property, I can click on cross section. Again, this gives me a temporary outline of what my cross section look like. And what I can do here is I can move it, and I can see that, yeah, actually I got it about to scale, but I just want to make sure that it's way out of the way. Actually, I'll put it up here so that when it gets exported in SVG or PDF, it will be out of the way of my sketch. Okay, something else that I wanted to point out here is this tick mark right here. Now that's a pretty long tick mark, which is great. It's easy to find, but let's say that if this tick mark were at my station, or maybe I have a very complicated passage and it's getting in my way. When I'm in the drawing menu and I go up to the three dots and I go down to settings, and then I go down to lines, down here it has section line tick size. I have it set at 20, which is pretty long. So what we can do is I will make it 5, and we will see what happens. So now I hit the back button, the back button again, the back button again. Now you can see how short my little tick mark is. So that's just personal preference. You can make it as long or as short as you want. Now, let's say that I decided I needed to modify my cross section. 2 ways I can do it. Highlight this, go to my section point, highlight it, then go to the Sketch Items Property button. Now, if I go to Draw, it comes up. So I could modify it if I wanted to, however I want to do that. The other way I can get into that drawing, same thing, is I'm going to hit my highlight button. Now, I can either highlight that button or that point, or I can highlight this point. Either one will give me the same thing. I can go up to my section items right here, and then I go to drawing, and it gives me my drawing. Now, let's say that I just decided that that was a rotten place for my cross section and I did not want it put there. What I can do is I can highlight this. I can go to my section line, and right here on the X, delete item section, and it's gone. So no more cross section. And I think that just about takes care of cross sections.